time is on the border, but how do you break up with your friend? I know there is no use to confront her, but how do you say this is the end? I'm through being taken for granted. I'm the one you call when nobody's home. Being with you means just disappointments. I'm your last escape, so I've been told. Don't bring that bummer to my door again, my friend. You know that you've been crying wolf too many times. Well, this time I know it. Been there, I've done that. Those words are just sand in my hair. So talk if you like, but words will be words till you bring them to life. So talk if you like, but words will be words till you bring them to life. Words will be words till you bring them to life. Words will be words till you bring them to life.
Welcome. That is Talk 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 by St. Michael featuring Anya Gold. Welcome to Let's Catch Up with Mike. I am your host, Mike Vatter. This is the special Golden Globe predictions episode. I am so excited about this because it is my first ever Golden Globes predictions episode. I'm really excited about this because I can say I'm wearing my Netflix shirt because I have been a huge fan of, I'm using a microphone today, as you can tell, because I'm trying to fix the audio issue we've been having. There's a lot of feedback. You guys have been telling me there's feedback from the, I've been using a lapel mic or lavalier mic, as they call it. Used to be called a throat mic. There's a lot of different terms for it. A theater mic, they've been called before as well. So hopefully this helps. It isn't what do they call omnidirectional mic, but I have a little koozie, little mic condom on there. Hopefully that'll help filter out some of the background noise. But maybe take it off, put it back on. Safety first. I'm a safety girl. So let me know if the audio is any better or worse for you. But we're going to try this for today. And I am really excited because I've always been a huge award show fan. For me, today is Super Bowl Sunday, for those of you who pay attention to that kind of thing. My Super Bowl is the Oscars. My Super Bowl is the Golden Globes. I don't watch the sports stuff. I just hope both teams have fun. That they hydrate and that they have their orange slices during intermission. So, so I hope that they do really well. I don't like Tom Brady. I'll say that because I think he's a cheater. Don't sue me. Allegedly he's a cheater. A lot of people have told me that. I don't pay attention, so I don't really know. So I'm really excited about the Golden Globes because all my favorite shows are nominated. Well, not all of them. Most of my favorite shows are nominated. I'm going to put this down because I think it'll work regardless. It's a fairly new microphone for me, so hopefully it's not a crap microphone that I wasted money on. So let me know. I am super excited. I even printed out my unofficial ballot, and I have marked my predictions. Now, this is who I think will win. It's not who I necessarily want to win. So don't send me hate messages, okay? I know who I want to win and like who I would vote for and all that stuff. But this is who I really think will win. And I would be happy to debate this with anybody. I'm not going to do that. So, and I've seen most of these. I've read about the ones I haven't seen. I've watched some screeners. I've watched the trailers. I've done all that. So I'm just going to dig right in because this is a long, Golden Globes is TV and movies it's foreign film, it's miniseries, it's special event shows, it's music for these shows, it's supporting actor and actresses in these roles in these shows. It's like Oscars and Emmys combined. So, and then it's like they break it down too. It's like special event series, it's mini series, it's TV movie. It's like, so it's Oscars and Emmys like on crack combined. So there's a lot going on here. So there's a lot of different categories. So I'm just gonna like jump right in and just tell you. And I on some of them I'm gonna give some detail, but I'm just gonna dive right in. So best motion picture drama. And I'm going to leave out some of the minor categories because I think like they're ones that, and not that the people aren't super talented, but they're the categories that people don't really pay attention to as far as what's like hot topics, and they also don't always get aired. So there are categories that get presented in off-camera uh, presentations. So they don't get aired. So a lot of people who watch the Golden Globes don't even know they exist. So I'm not going to cover those either. Best motion picture drama. Oh, and the full list can be found at Golden Globes website. Variety.com is the official magazine of the Golden Globes, and also goldenglobes.com has the full list. So Variety.com, goldenglobes.com, and NewYorkTimes.com have the official full list of all the nominees in every category. And the reason I'm wearing my Netflix t-shirt is Netflix again dominated the nominations. Streamers this year, streaming platforms have again locked up all the nominees. So best motion picture drama nominations are The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. So I think it's really between Nomadland and The Trial of the Chicago 7. And I really think Nomadland is going to win. It's really between those two, but I really think Nomadland is going to win in that category. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama. Golden Globes breaks it down, not just best actress, best actor, like the Oscars. They break it down by category of like drama, musical, comedy. So so I think this is best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for the United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. And I think this is really between Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Andra Day for United States versus Billie Holiday. I really loved both performances so much, but I really think Viola Davis has this one locked up. It's really hard to play both of these women. They are both historic singers. They are both women who you can look into the archives and find footage and recordings of. Harder to find Ma Rainey than Billie Holiday, but it's hard to play an historic character without doing an impression of them. And both of these women did an amazing job. Viola Davis, I think, has it locked up though. It's a harder role to play because it's not glamorous. It's an ugly look into her role, into her life, I should say. It's an uglier role, and I mean that not in physicality, but in it's a dark role. And she did an amazing job. She doesn't do her own singing in this role, except for one song, maybe two, but she really did a great, great job in this role. So I really think Viola Davis has it locked up for Ma Rainey. It was amazing. It was a really, really good job. For best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Tahar, I think it's pronounced Tahar Rahim for, and the movie title's hard to say too, The Mauritanian. So I have to say, if you've not seen Sound of Metal with Riz Ahmed, you have to see it. This movie is amazing. It's about a drummer who loses his hearing. It's shot in a documentary style, but it's not a documentary. When I first saw the trailer, I thought it was a documentary, and I was like, I'm not really into heavy metal music. I'm not really into, music documentaries for bands I don't know. Heartbreaking. This movie is heartbreaking, and it's basically the guy's first starring role. He deserves this Golden Globe, but I don't think he's going to get it because Chadwick Boseman, who died shortly after making Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, um, first of all, he is an amazing actor. He was an amazing actor. He has a very short career of leading roles, and he died of cancer shortly after filming Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. The awards shows tend to honor posthumous nominees, and they usually deserve it. Chadwick Boseman deserves an award for Ma Rainey, and obviously he's not going to have a chance to win again, which is typically why posthumous awards are given. But he does deserve it. It's like Heath Ledger for the Joker, and other roles that have gone to posthumous nominations. But Chadwick Boseman really does deserve an award for Ma Rainey. So I think he has it locked up. I think he deserves it. I think he's going to get it. But it's between those two, I think, in my opinion. Best motion picture, musical, or comedy. I hate most of the nominees in this. I shouldn't say this. I don't hate them. I think there are so many that were not nominated that should have been. These are all very deserving, but I think there are others that should have been included in this. And something that should be said: there are no hard and fast rules for how many are nominated in each category. They typically stick to like five or seven per category. They like to have an odd number so there's no ties. That being said, and this is true for the Oscars as well, they don't have to nominate five. They typically nominate five. They could have nominated seven. They could have nominated 15. They like to nominate five. There are others that should be in this category. In most of these categories, there are others, and I'm going to talk about that next week with my guest, Love Rains. But best motion picture, musical, or comedy. Borat, subsequent movie film. Art is subjective. Comedy is subjective. I don't think Borat should ever be nominated for anything. That's my personal opinion. Moving on. Hamilton. Music. Palm Springs and The Prom. I think this is truly between Hamilton and The Prom. Hamilton is an amazing musical. Historically accurate, not completely. Beautifully performed, in most cases, yes. Over awarded, probably. It's a really, really great show. It's been given an award for just about every possible award. It could be, I think it's been given, a city council award at this point. I think it's been given, the key to the city for everything. You name an award, it's been given. I'm really surprised it's nominated because it was eligible last year for everything and the year before that for everything. So I'm surprised it's nominated for this. I know it was just because it was just filmed and put on Disney Plus. So I was really surprised to see it on this list, but it is nominated. I think it's got a really good chance. Obviously, it's a huge success. It's a big moneymaker. It's a big draw. I think it's between Hamilton and The Prom. I personally think it should go to The Prom, and I think The Prom is going to edge it out only because The Prom is unique. It went from Tony nominated and Tony award-winning play straight to Netflix movie, and there's a long story there. Ryan Murphy said this needs to be a movie. He was going to make it a movie for the theater, for cinemas, and then COVID came. The pandemic came, cinemas were shut down. He made this movie on basically no budget. He basically hired all the actors himself. There are a lot of big name actors in the adult roles, and a lot of no name actors in the student roles and the child roles. And said, "I'm going to make this during a pandemic," and it made it on a shoestring budget. And you can tell, not that the quality's bad, but you can tell because it's filmed kind of in an isolation bubble. Um, and he did an amazing job. And it's really, really, really well done. And I think it deserves a lot of awards and recognition for that. So I think the Hollywood Foreign Press will realize that too. I think the Prom will beat out Hamilton, but by maybe a few votes. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Meryl Streep should be in this category, and she's not. She should be in this category for the Prom, and she was locked out, which really stings. Um, Maria Bakalova for Borat subsequent movie film, Kate Hudson for music, Michelle Pfeiffer for French Exit, Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot, Anya Taylor Joy for Emma. I think Michelle Pfeiffer has this for the French Exit. It is such a great movie. I cannot wait for it to be in wide release for everyone to see it. Um, it is so good. It's a dark comedy. It's a Woody Allen style, not Woody Allen, but it's a Woody Allen style comedy. Um, it feels very much like Manhattan or Hannah and Her Sisters, kind of an 80s, late 80s, early 90s New York, a Paris cafe kind of Woody Allen movie with kind of a darker edge, maybe like a Tim Burton and Woody Allen kind of combined. It has that feel to it. It's very, very good. It's dark. It's sarcastic comedy. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Um, Kate Hudson in music is really good. Music is an amazing movie. That is really worth seeing. Um, Rosamund Pike and I Care a Lot. These are all great nominees. Um, I don't love Borat, but I thought Maria did a great job in Borat. Anya Taylor Joy is an amazing actress. She was really good in The Queen's Gambit, one of my favorite movies, or limited series. But Emma has been told so many times. It's like Little Women. It's like a rite of passage. In order to be considered a serious actress in Hollywood, you have to do Little Women. You kind of have to do Emma, right? Even Clueless was an update of Emma. My Marilyn Monroe mug. Marilyn Monroe never won an Oscar, but she won a Golden Globe. She should have been. She should have been nominated for so many Oscars. But she's my Golden Globe themed coffee mug today. Anyway, so I don't know. They're all very deserving actresses, but I think it's going to be between Michelle Pfeiffer and Kate Hudson. But Michelle Pfeiffer has it locked up for The French Exit. A great, great film. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat subsequent movie film. James Corden for The Prom. Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton. Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield. Andy Samberg for Palm Springs. I thought Palm Springs was brilliant. I thought it was a really, really cool kind of a cool take on the Groundhog Day kind of film where the same day keeps repeating over and over again. It was a very unique take on that. I loved Palm Springs. It should win awards, but it's not going to in this category because of the shows that it's up against. David Copperfield is a great story. I thought The Personal History of David Copperfield was a fun take on that story. James Corden should win in this category. I think he's going to. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. James Corden should win for The Prom. His take on the character is a bit over the top, a bit flamboyant. There's something in my eye. But he does a great job because he plays that character so well. It's an over the top. James Corden basically plays an egomaniac theater actor who he's miscast um, as Franklin Roosevelt. So James Corden is Franklin Roosevelt, who looks nothing like Franklin Roosevelt, and then goes in to save a high school prom. So he plays the part really well because he's totally miscast, and then um, he's really funny. He just does a great job in this over the top character. Um, I think it reminded me of Nathan Lane's turn in The Birdcage. He's that kind of over the top, and a lot of great memorable lines. I thought he did a really good job. So I think it's James Corden's trophy to lose. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role, any motion picture. This is a weird category because it could have had 100, 100 nominations in it. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture, like any motion picture. Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman, The Father, Jodie Foster in the Mauritanian, that is like the hardest title to pronounce this year. Amanda Seyfried in Mank, and Helena Zengel in News of the World. So these are all very deserving performances. Jodie Foster deserves an award for everything she does. I mean, Olivia Colman is the same, Amanda Seyfried the same. Helena Zengel, who is the little girl in News of the World with Tom Hanks. It reminds me of Anna Paquin in The Piano. It's such a small performance, and I mean it's like small. It's intimate. It's an internalized performance. Or Jodie Foster's performance in Nell. It's a small, intimate performance. You have to really pay attention to her performance because it's nuanced, but it's really really good. But I think she's too young to be nominated in a leading actress category right now. If it were like a featured actress, like the Tony Awards does, I think she'd have it locked up. Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy has this locked up. Glenn Close is unrecognizable in this role, and she is amazing. The first 10 minutes she's on screen, my husband and I were watching it going, that's Glenn Close? Didn't look like her, didn't sound like her. She was amazing. And it's a far cry from any role Glenn Close has ever played. And she just, I mean, talk about cheating. Talk about chewing scenery. That's a tongue twister. Scenery chewing scenery, however you want to phrase it. That whole movie is they're just gnawing on the scenery the entire time, and she steals the film. She's not really even the main character, but she's definitely the leading impetus. She's the leading actress in this movie. She steals the movie. So Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. So it's the same category, but for the leading male. Sacha Baron Cohen, The Trial of the Chicago 7. Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. Jared Leto, The Little Things. Bill Murray, On the Rocks. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. This is a tough one because Sacha Baron Cohen, when he does a role right, he is amazing. He can be a very, very good actor. I personally don't like him in movies like Borat. He is great in The Trial of the Chicago 7. Daniel I'm so sorry I mispronounced his name because he's an amazing actor. Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah. I thought he was great in Black Panther. And I know I've seen him in other roles, but that's the first one that comes to mind. Judas and the Black Messiah is, again, it's a heart-wrenching role. Jared Leto, he's always good in my book. Bill Murray in On the Rocks. He plays Bill Murray, but he plays Bill Murray better than anyone else, if that makes sense. Bill Murray, he when he's playing Scrooge, or when he's playing a Ghostbuster, or when he's playing I don't know, Caddyshack, or one of his more famous roles, he plays those roles with like a wink in his eye, like he's not really playing himself. He's playing kind of a doofy version of himself. But when Bill Murray plays Bill Murray, like he does in On the Rocks, he plays it better than anyone. And he is so relaxed and he's so much fun to watch. Um, I enjoyed him in this movie probably more than any performance he's ever given. I had so much fun watching him, and he really deserves the Golden Globe for this. But I really think it's between Sacha Baron Cohen for Trial of Chicago 7 and Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. One Night in Miami is a fictionalized take on Sam Cooke, Muhammad Ali. Um, uh, it's a night in Miami when black activists, get together and decide what they're going to do um, when to um, I can't give anything away, and you guys know I'm notorious for accidentally giving spoilers. So I'm just going to say they get together and decide kind of what direction the civil rights movement is going to take. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I will accidentally give stuff away. It's a fictionalized take on what really happens with the 1960s civil rights movement. But Leslie Odom Jr. is very underrated in my book. He deserves more credit than he's ever given. He, to me, was he was the force behind Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda obviously made Hamilton what it was, but Leslie Odom Jr. was not given enough credit for Hamilton. I think Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami is kind of like Whoopi Goldberg for Ghost. Whoopi Goldberg was given the Oscar for Ghost, and she earned it. But a lot of people say she was given the Oscar for Ghost because she didn't get the Oscar for The Color Purple and should have been given the Oscar for Color Purple. I think Leslie Odom Jr. will get the Golden Globe for One Night in Miami because he wasn't given the Tony for Hamilton. And I know that's a stretch, but I think a lot of people think Leslie Odom Jr. deserves a major award to boost his career. Now that's political. That's completely political, and it's my opinion. But I do think Leslie Odom Jr. deserves a Golden Globe for One Night in Miami. And I really think that Bill Murray deserves it for On the Rocks. Two totally different performances, two totally different roles, and that's why this category is such a toss-up, because it's best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. You've got comedy, you've got musical, and you've got a drama all in the same category. So it's a complete toss-up. But I think it's between those two guys. Bill Murray, Leslie Odom Jr. Let's see what happens. Best Director Motion Picture. So it's Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. The Golden Globes tends to do what the Oscars are afraid to do. They nominate women and people of color for Best Director. So good on them. Not enough of either are nominated. 2 women and one person of color. But I think Regina King for One Night in Miami is going to get it. I think she deserves it, and I think she's going to get it. It's between her and Aaron Sorkin for Trial of Chicago 7. But I think Regina King's going to get it. I think the Golden Globes likes her. She's won Golden Globes in the past for other things. And I think she's well-deserved. Aaron Sorkin is a Golden Globes favorite as well. He's won for The West Wing. He's won for a bunch of other projects he's done. But Regina King, I think, really, really deserves this, and I think she's going to get it. Best Screenplay Motion Picture. The Father, and the screenplays tend to have a bunch of people involved in them, so I'm not going to read all the names, just going to read the titles. Best Screenplay Motion Picture: The Father, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Mank, Nomadland, and Promising Young Woman. You're hearing the name Promising Young Woman come up a lot. If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Not free, you have to pay for it, but definitely worth it. It is a revenge film, and it's a dark comedy. Um, a woman pretends to be drunk so that men will take her home and take advantage of her, and then she turns the tables on them. And there's a definite reason why she does it, and I won't spoil it for you. But it's a revenge film. That's all I'll say. And it's really good, and it's really dark, but it's still a comedy, and you will laugh. You'll also cringe because it's not gory, but it's violent. So Best Screenplay Motion Picture: The Father, Trial of the Chicago 7, Mank, Nomadland, and Promising Young Woman. I think it goes to Mank. Mank is the it's kind of like the term, I don't know if you're familiar with the term inside baseball or inside the beltway. Those are both terms I use. I, I know for someone who doesn't follow sports, to say inside baseball, it's, or inside the beltway, it means looking at something from the inside. You have to know the thing you're talking about in order to talk about the thing you're talking about, and only people who know it will get it. So it's an inside baseball term. You have to be a baseball player or a baseball manager or, on the team in order to get the reference. Or inside the beltway, you have to be involved in politics and live inside the DC beltway in order to get the reference I'm giving you. So Mank is inside Hollywood. It's very meta. That's a good way to put it. It is the making of the making of the making of Citizen Kane. So Mank is the guy, it's his nickname, but Mankiewicz. Mank is the guy who wrote the treatment for, a treatment is like the outline or the basic script. Mank is the guy who wrote the treatment for the script that eventually became the script for Citizen Kane, which Orson Welles turned into the movie Citizen Kane, because he wasn't considered a good enough or big enough writer to write his own Citizen Kane, even though he is the only one that got credit for writing Citizen Kane, which he also starred in and directed. So it's the making of the script and the movie Citizen Kane, and it's shot in black and white, and it's shot in a way that looks like the making of the script. So like if you're watching the movie Mank, it says on the screen, interior, Hollywood Boulevard Hotel, 2 p.m. Wednesday. It says it's like on the screen. So it looks like a script treatment as you're watching it. It's an amazing movie, but you kind of have to be a fan of old Hollywood and a fan of script writing to really kind of enjoy the movie. At least I think you kind of have to be a fan of these things. But you also have to be a fan of like really old style writing and really old style acting. It's an amazing cast. It's a long movie and it's drawn out. It feels like you're watching somebody write Citizen Kane. I freaking loved it. My husband Jeff, I looked over a couple times and he was like this. Like he was zoning out. And a couple times he would do those. And a couple times he'd pick up his phone and be like, "Oh my god, how long is this movie?" But the parts that he enjoyed, he really enjoyed. It's got some great one-liners. It's got amazing costumes. It's got amazing, makeup and some really great insider tips, insider tricks, I should say, on how sets are built and how costumes are made at the last minute. They make a last minute adjustments, and special effects were done back then. It's a fun movie, but it's long and it's a little tedious. But I think Mank is going to win Best Screenplay Motion Picture because Hollywood award shows like to celebrate themselves. It's a bit egotistical. And if they can celebrate how they make things on their own, they're going to celebrate. So it's like giving themselves a pat on the back. So I think Mank is going to win in categories like this. So that's my call on Best Screenplay Motion Picture, Mank. Best Motion Picture Animated. This is going to be a tough one. Onward and Soul are both Disney Pixar movies. They may cancel each other out. The whole list of nominees for Best Motion Picture Animated: The Croods: A New Age, which is a sequel, which sequels typically don't do well, especially animated sequels. Onward, which is Disney Pixar. Over the Moon, Netflix. Soul, and Wolfwalkers. Wolfwalkers is it's a German or Scandinavian release on Apple TV. Over the Moon is Netflix. Soul and Onward are Disney Pixar. I think it's going to be Onward or Soul, but I really think one of them may they may cancel each other out. Excuse me. Onward is the trolls who bring back their dad with a magic spell, and they accidentally only bring back half of him, the bottom half. So they only bring back his legs, and they go on an adventure with the legs. And it's really cute. It's really, really well done. And I really enjoyed it. But it's not a great Disney Pixar movie. It's a cute movie. It doesn't live up to the standards of Disney Pixar. Soul is it does for the human soul what Inside Out did for the human psyche, and it's a very interesting movie. It also is the first Disney Pixar movie to have a black male lead, and that says a lot. And I think it's going to win because of that. But a lot of people are complaining about it because it's not very the black male lead is not very well represented according to a lot of people. So I think Soul's going to win, and I hope it opens up the dialogue on how representation can be better. And I think it's a start. I liked Soul. It was a little dull. It was not as good as Inside Out by far. Could have been a lot better, but it was very good. And I think Soul will win. I hope it doesn't cancel itself out with Onward. If not, I think Over the Moon has a really good chance. Highly recommend all three, though, by the way. Best Motion Picture Foreign Language. Another round from Denmark. Try this again. La Yorna from Guatemala and France. The dual effort there. The Life Ahead from Italy. Minari. I'm going to get back to that one in a second. It says Minari, USA. And Two of Us, France, USA. So this is going to be, I'm going to say right off the bat, it's going to be Minari. But if it's not Minari, it's going to be The Life Ahead. Life Ahead, Italy, is Sophia Loren. I mean, Sophia Loren. Golden Globe's favorite. And it's Sophia Loren. She's a legend. But Minari is surrounded by controversy. And award shows love controversy. And the Hollywood foreign press is not one to shy away from controversy. And I think they need to embrace the controversy on this one. Minari is about a North Korean family who immigrates to the U.S. to start a farm. And the film is not completely. The film is majority. The majority of the film is in Korean, spoken in Korean, and the category is Best Motion Picture Foreign Language. The film was made for worldwide release. The way that the Golden Globes works at the Hollywood Foreign Press, the way that it works is the host country has to, or is expected to, um, sponsor, kind of like the Olympics, sponsor the film to be nominated. And if they don't, then another country should, right? So, for example, The Life Ahead was made by Italians for submission into the, or it was made, it was made for an Italian audience, and to be submitted into the Golden Globes, um, Italy is sponsoring it. If Italy chose not to sponsor it, another country could sponsor it under the Italian flag, so to speak, to be nominated as an Italian film. So North Korea is not sponsoring Minari. So the USA is sponsoring it under Jane Fonda and a few other celebrities who are saying this movie needs to be seen. So it's officially being sponsored as an American film in the foreign language category, which is pretty amazing because a bunch of American celebrities are saying this movie needs to be seen. And activists, not just celebrities, celebrity activists are saying this movie needs to be seen. Nominate it, get it in there, it has to be seen. But other people in the Hollywood foreign press are saying, no, it's not the right category. It's not a foreign language. It's not a best foreign picture if the USA is sponsoring it. It's not a foreign film. So like The Two of Us is a French film sponsored by the USA, and it says Two of Us, France/USA. Minari just says USA. There's no foreign language. There's no foreign country sponsoring it. So it's not a foreign film. Therein lies the controversy. So basically they're saying it's not a foreign film if there's no foreign country sponsoring it. I say change the rules, but it's too late to change the rules. It's too late in the game. It's already been nominated. So basically next year change the rules, but this year embrace the controversy because people are watching. Anyway, so I think Minari is going to win. I think Minari should win. And if they chicken out and they don't give it to Minari, then I think it should go to The Life Ahead. And I think next year they need to change the rules. But the good thing is Minari is giving them a lot of attention, and maybe they should think about changing the rules next time. I definitely think they should think about changing the rules next time. Anyway, best original score, motion picture. And a lot of these have multiple names as well, like screenplay. So I'm just going to read the titles. The Midnight Sky, Tenet, News of the World, Mank, and Soul. And these are best original score. So some of them have multiple songs, some of them have multiple artists and composers. So motion picture score, that's the instrumental music in a motion picture. It's a toss-up between Tenet and News of the World. I think it's going to be News of the World. Sorry, I've got a whisker growing under the corner of my mouth. It's bothering me while I talk. I hope I got it. These are completely unedited. I just film it and then send it out to you guys. So you get to see all of my nose blowing and whisker picking and coffee sipping and whatever. It's like, it's just a conversation. We're just catching up. We're just talking. Any snooch. Okay. Best original score. I think it's going to go to News of the World. Best original song, motion picture. Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah. Hear My Voice from The Trial of Chicago 7. Is Seen from The Life Ahead. Speak Now from One Night in Miami. Tigress and Tweed from The United States versus Billie Holiday. I think hands down it goes to Tigress and Tweed from The United States versus Billie Holiday. To write a song that sounds like it was written for Billie Holiday in Billie Holiday's voice in her heyday, and then to have Andre Day sing it and sound like Billie Holiday in Billie Holiday's heyday is no small feat. And then I think that in and of itself, the attempt of that in and of itself is worthy of a Golden Globe. So I think it's going to go to Tigress and Tweed from the United States versus Billie Holiday. Best television series drama: The Crown, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Ozark, and Ratched. I think it's going to go to The Crown. I think year after year after year, The Crown is proving itself to be the best television series drama, period. I'd love for it to go to The Mandalorian. I'm a huge fan of The Mandalorian. Um, this little guy with that little punum, look at that little face, little baby Yoda, little Grogu. Um, I would love for it to go to The Mandalorian, but I think The Crown is just amazing. I'm surprised Mandalorian is nominated, and I think it deserves it. I'm surprised, though, because Star Wars shows and movies are not typically nominated for awards. But I think The Crown's going to get it. Best performance by an actress in a television series drama: Olivia Colman, The Crown; Jodie Comer, Killing Eve; Emma Corrin, The Crown; Laura Linney, Ozark; Sarah Paulson, Ratched. I think it was a mistake for Netflix to nominate both Olivia Colman and Emma Corrin as lead actress. Not that they don't deserve it, but they're going to cancel each other out if they're not careful, because Emma Corrin did not have as big a role as Olivia Colman. Emma Corrin should have been supporting actress. Olivia Colman carried The Crown for 2 seasons and should be nominated as lead actress. Emma Corrin, supporting actress. I do think Olivia Colman is going to win. I think she deserves to win. Emma Corrin did a good job, but not leading actress good. If they cancel each other out and The Crown does not win this category, then I think it's going to go to Laura Linney for Ozark. Laura Linney is continually one of the best actresses on the planet, as is Olivia Colman. So I think it's going to be Olivia Colman or Laura Linney, and only Laura Linney if Emma Corrin steals votes from Olivia Colman. Best performance by an actor in a television series drama: Jason Bateman for Ozark; Josh O'Connor for The Crown; Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul; Al Pacino for The Hunters; and Matthew Rhys for Perry Mason. Josh O'Connor in The Crown playing Prince Charles, again, not a big enough role. Now, last season, he had a much bigger part as Prince Charles. He was pretty much the focus of the season, and I would say deserved it. This past season, I think he was supporting. But I really think Jason Bateman for Ozark is going to get it, and for no other reason than to see the shock in his face, because he never expects to win, and he's amazing. I really think, I think Marty Bird has continued to be one of the more surprising characters on television. I think he deserves a Golden Globe. Best television series, musical or comedy. This is television series, musical or comedy, and this is an odd category as well because there are no musicals nominated. There are no musical. I don't think there are any musical television series right now except for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and it's not nominated. So I'm really surprised. It should be nominated, and it's not. So actors from it are nominated, but the show's not nominated, which is, to me, really odd. They think the actors are good enough to be nominated, but the show is not. That's weird. So best television series, musical or comedy: Emily in Paris, The Flight Attendant, The Great, Schitt's Creek, and Ted Lasso. Schitt's Creek, hands down. Best performance by an actress in a television series, musical or comedy: Lily Collins, Emily in Paris; Kaylee Cuoco, The Flight Attendant; Ellie Fanning, The Great; Jane Levy, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist; and Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. Best performance by an actor in a television series, musical or comedy: Don Cheadle, Black Monday; Nicholas Hoult, The Great; Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek; Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso; Rami Youssef, Rami. Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek. Best television limited series or motion picture made for television. So this is like a mini series. It was only supposed to be on 1 or 2 seasons, and that's it. It was only made for 1 or 2 seasons. It was never supposed to go on for 6 seasons. The idea was this will be on for 13 episodes or 6 episodes, or that's it. It was never meant to be an ongoing series. 1 season, maybe 2, that's it. We're done. So best television limited series or motion picture made for television. Normal People, The Queen's Gambit, Small Axe, The Undoing, Unorthodox. I say The Queen's Gambit, hands down, Queen's Gambit. Best performance by an actress in a television series, musical, or comedy. Lily Collins, Emily in Paris, Kaylee Cuoco, The Flight Attendant, Ellie Fanning, The Great, Jane Levy, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, or Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. The best performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. Don Cheadle, Black Monday, Nicholas Hoult, The Great, Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek, Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, Rami Youssef, Rami. Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a series, limited series, or motion picture made for television. John Boyega, Small Axe, Brendan Gleeson, The Comey Rule, Dan Levy, Schitt's Creek, Jim Parsons, Hollywood, Donald Sutherland, The Undoing. So this is between Dan Levy for Schitt's Creek or Jim Parsons for Hollywood. So Jim Parsons has been playing a lot of anti-Sheldon Cooper roles, right? I mean, The Boys in the Band, which, by the way, should be nominated for a bunch of these categories. Hollywood, he's playing against type in a lot of these roles, and he deserves nominations for them. But, and he's so good, but Schitt's Creek won't be back, right? Not that Hollywood will be, but Jim Parsons will continually play in these roles because Jim Parsons is seeking out anti-Sheldon Cooper roles. And Dan Levy will be around for a while too. But Schitt's Creek, as it was, will cease to exist. And the same thing happened when Big Bang Theory went off the air. The cast of Big Bang Theory was honored, and it swept everything. Schitt's Creek is going to sweep again. Schitt's Creek it's a juggernaut. I mean, Schitt's Creek was groundbreaking. Schitt's Creek, has swept every award show, and deservedly. It really has broken so many boundaries, and it really deserves to. So it's going to. I think it's going to sweep the Golden Globes again. So I think it's going to go to Dan Levy. It's going to be a tough call. If it's not Dan Levy, it'll be Jim Parsons, but I think it's going to be Dan Levy. So that's my predictions for the Golden Globes for the major categories. There's a few other categories, like I said, that aren't on my list. But that is my prediction. Tune in on the last Sunday of February on NBC and let me know what your nomination predictions are. What your winning predictions are. Those are the nominees. Let me know what you think. If I'm right or if I'm wrong. But tune in on the last Sunday of February on NBC, depending on your time zone, and check your local listings, as they say. And let's see if I was right. So anyway, talk at you later. Love you, bye. Stay safe. Live long and prosper. Wear a fucking mask. Social distance. Love you, bye. Love you, mean it.